Cleaning skills, Mylar Paper as a teaching aid, and this is Julia Solo. On the right, there's an image of a boat drawn on Mylar Paper. What it is. So Mylar Paper is the brand name for a sheet of polyethylene terephthalate, or BOPET polyester film. It was invented in 1954 by someone named DuPont. The name Mylar itself is meaningless, meaning they made it up. One side is smooth and the other one is more rough. Mylar is moisture resistant and can be written on. Mylar paper is typically used for preserving documents such as maps, and it's also said to last multiple hundreds of years. It can also be used to make tactile pictures. How to use Mylar paper as a teaching aid. Start with a rubber mat. I found one on clearance at Joann Fabrics. Without the rubber mat, there will be no raised mark. Place the piece of Mylar on top of the mat, rough side up. At a local artist supply store, they sell an 11 by 7 sheet for under $1. With a pen, make a line on the paper with a little bit of pressure. It should make a sound from the texture on the paper. I would describe the texture to be almost like the texture of a screen door that just lets the air through and no bugs, but the paper does not have holes in it. The result will be a raised line that can be felt tactically. Cleaning a counter surface review. Teaching overlapping strokes so no section is missed. Teaching a systematic approach, starting at one side of the surface or counter and working their way towards the other side. Teach the client to collect scraps in a cupped hand, tactically feeling the area to be cleaned to feel for obstacles. Using the other hand without the sponge or rag to define the space being cleaned. Overcleaning is encouraged. Periodically folding over the rag for better cleaning. Tactically feeling again to ensure the surface is indeed clean. There's more information on house cleaning tips that can be found on the Visionaware website, and I've listed this on the references slide. How to use Mylar to implement patterns. This is what I'm calling the snake pattern. Photo description. The single line starts at the top right of the Mylar paper and goes to the top left and curves down around the bend and goes towards the right side of the page. Again, the line almost reaches the right side of the page and bends down around and goes towards the left side of the page. This pattern repeats. This pattern is perhaps best when trying to sweep crumbs. I ended up using a fairly small piece, but if used with a client, it would need to be a bit larger, perhaps as big as an 11 by 7 page. This is an enlarged picture of the image. How to use Mylar to implement patterns continued. This is what I am calling the phone cord pattern because it is a series of tight overlapping circular ringlets. Photo description. The line starts at the top right and creates small spirals going toward the left side of the page, and like the previous pattern, loops back toward the right side of the page. This method may be best when there are not a lot of crumbs on the surface, but there is dried dirt, or this method is should mainly be used to sanitize once the crumbs have been removed, as this method can promote the spraying of crumbs. Here's another enlarged of this picture of this one. Who this teaching aid may be helpful for. The deafblind, because they communicate in individual ways. The deafblind focus on tactile information as a way of communication. The deafblind may prefer one mode of communication over another. Not all deafblind people use ASL or American Sign Language, although there's other types of sign language. Some may use verbal communication as a sense of hearing, which may be better than their sense of vision. People who do not like being touched, so people on the autism spectrum, and when an individual has experienced physical abuse, they may be less open to being touched. Someone with a learning disability who needs to get used to the pattern in different ways. And the Learning Disabilities Association of America states in an article titled Successful Strategies for Teaching Students with Learning Disabilities. And in this article, it mentions the importance of using a sequential, simultaneous, structured, multisensory approach. Who this aid might not be helpful for. 1, someone with tactile sensitivity. 2, someone with extreme neuropathy or numbness in their hands. 3, someone with a loss of upper extremities or amputated fingers. And these are my references. So I have www.wideformatpaper.com/blog/what is Mylar, how is Mylar used, www.visionaware.org/info/everydayliving/home modifications/room-by-room/house-cleaning-tips/1235. And a couple of our books for this course: Foundations of Rehabilitation Teaching with Persons Who Are Blind or Visually Impaired, pages 276 to 277. And Rehabilitation Teaching for Persons Experiencing Vision Loss, pages 66 and 67. Thank you.